And we're too sweet.
All right, welcome to an all-new Attention Wrestling Disorder. It's episode 14. I am RJ Show, the whole show, nothing but the whole damn show. And as always, we have...
My name is Chuck, the Counterbalance. No longer Chucky Hashi. We are now Chuck Coffee forever.
Yeah, where's your coffee?
And I am the Hot Rod 521. Not your one, not your two, not your three, but your four-time ELW Fantasy Champion, soon to be five-time. Thank you.
Right. Dreams.
Well, wait, actually, that's wrong. I said that's right. I wasn't paying attention. That's wrong. How about I come after you? Anyway, today we have another special guest from New York. Well, since Rod and I are in Florida and Chuck's in New York, but from New York, we have Ryan Peterson.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today?
We're good. How you doing,
Hey, how's it going?
So,
just
Ryan?
no day in paradise. I'll tell you that.
No day in paradise, huh?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Now, you announce for a bunch of different companies in New York and New Jersey as well, right?
Oh, I'm all over the place, man. I have. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I've done, currently and also in the past, I've done at least like 35 different promotions in like 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
And
I also
you were
announced-
the first to come back to Alaska during the pandemic or something like that?
Yes. So since you mentioned it, I'll go right into it. So one of the companies I work with, Wrestlepro, which is based out of New Jersey, a couple of years ago, they decided to do a couple of shows in Alaska, just for the hell of it, because there's really nothing out there but, moose and mountains and
snow.
And snow and freezing cold, and
Igloos.
the list goes on and on and on. So, actually, I went up there twice. The first time I went up there in December, and that was a last-minute booking, too, because when the promoter called me and asked me about it, first of all, it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was the Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I thought he was drunk until I found out he actually... Well, considering, again, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I thought he was drunk. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll deal with this. I'll deal with this tomorrow. So I dealt with it the next day, and surely enough, it was legit. I got my flight, and I flew out to Anchorage to do the show, which actually was not only my first time flying like that long distance. You're talking about like a 9.5, 10-hour flight from New York.
I believe that. It's
I could imagine.
And it's non-direct too. I had a layover in Seattle, but it was like 45 minutes. So I was literally, and as you can see, I'm not a runner. Now, the funny thing about that is when I landed in Seattle, I'm thinking, okay, my gate is, right there. I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be like right here, like not nearby. It was on the opposite end of SeaTac.
Wow.
I was in Terminal 1. And I had to go to Terminal 3. And Terminal 2 was blocked off because of through construction. I'm like, great. So now I'm about to pull my inner Forrest Gump and freaking run and go under the railroad. But I made it. I made the flight, obviously. And it worked out well because apparently we didn't leave for like another hour because apparently due to mechanical problems, but it really was no problems. It was really because the pilots showed up late. So that was that. But I landed in Alaska, and it was a hell of a blast. We did the show in an arena that holds 8,000 people. It was actually the same arena that WWE, well, I don't know if they're going there anymore, but they used to go in there. The last time they were there was 2017 for a house show. And we had about 1,500, 2,000 people in there.
Oh, wow.
And the main headliners were Road Warrior Animal and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
pretty solid.
So with that, yeah, it was pretty solid. And then they were planning on going back in May, which I was planning on going back, but then the pandemic happened. Then they bumped it back to September, and then they were going to do a double shot in Anchorage, and then Anchorage shut us down, so they had to find different towns and whatnot. And this trip, they were supposed to bring in DDP, and unfortunately, DDP had to pull out because of the whole pandemic, which is totally understandable. everyone was like, a lot of people were like, "Yo, why didn't you go out?" Because the pandemic was going on. And this was like
Right?
September. This was like 5 months into it. But
DDP wasn't
and
taking
also,
chances. He was smart.
exactly, and also we had a few people from AEW that was supposed to be on there too. It was supposed to be that pulled out was supposed to be Marco Stunt and Orange Cassidy. They pulled out. But on that show though, we had Joey Janela and Colt Cabana.
Oh wow.
And
Bad boy.
and the show was solid because we didn't know what to expect. We did 2 shows up there. One show was in Soldotna, which is 3 hours away from Anchorage, and we didn't know what to expect crowd-wise. We had about 400 people there because it was a dual show of not only wrestling but also kickboxing as well. Because the Wrestlepro promoter's partner lives in Alaska. And he does like fights and whatnot. So it kind of worked out well in my wheelhouse because I also announced for MMA and kickboxing on the East Coast as well. So that worked out. So that was like perfect wheelhouse for me to do it all at once.
That's pretty
awesome. Nice.
Right now.
and then the next. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, how long have you been announcing as a whole? How many years now?
This August will be 9 years for me.
Wow.
Oh, great.
Years doing
Yeah,
this.
and thank you. I've traveled, and there's more stories to get into it, but let me finish this Alaska story. So the next night, which is featured on the Wrestlepro Alaska Facebook page, definitely check it out. Little cheap plug there. We had about 350 people, and this one was supposed to be in Anchorage, and then that got canceled, and we moved up to Wasilla, which is about 45 minutes away from Anchorage, and it was supposed to be an outside show, but unfortunately there was rain in the forecast, and the configurations weren't working out well, so they decided to move it inside. We were inside at Harley Davidson, a massive Harley Davidson shop. That's where the show was. And we had about 350 people in there.
You should have made the show just another Hog Wild, right? Or Road Wild?
Yeah, right.
I know, but it was loud.
Bishop would have been there in a heartbeat with all of his buddies.
Oh my god.
But it was they did it all. They did it all. We had a pizza truck that was there, like actual serving like New York style pizza.
That's awesome.
Like actually cooking the pizzas on the truck, which actually surprisingly threw me off guard in a good way. And it was
a lot of those big trucks are shockingly like delicious. Their food.
I know. I was really surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Especially up there in Alaska. The only thing I could think of was like seafood, which I definitely had, which was freaking amazing up there.
I'm sure seafood is probably huge. Like any coastal state is like amazing for seafood.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You go to coastal for seafood.
But yeah, that show was solid from start to finish. And both shows were successful. And actually, Mike Johnson from PW Insider said that our event he recommended viewers, his readers, to watch our event, an indie show. We were that as like one of the top events of 2020. We're just an indie company, which is insane.
Wow, that's big right there. Mike Johnson gave you guys that type of endorsement.
Well, considering the card that we had Joey Janela against Gangrel. I'm thinking off the top of my head. Brian Myers against Falaba. We had Swoggle on the show. We had Colt Cabana on the show. We had a dog collar match on the show, the first time in Alaskan pro wrestling history.
Oh,
interesting.
And the now new Wrestlepro Gold Champion. The guy's name is Dion Rusman. He lives in Iowa, trains at the Black and Brave Academy by Seth Rollins, but he used to live in Alaska. Literally, when you look at him, he looks like Roman Reigns. But he's called the Iceberg, and he's a phenomenal talent from looks. He actually was just on AEW Dark recently.
Which guy?
Oh,
Dion Rusman, the guy that was in like the white and powder blue tights.
Who did he go up against?
Who did he wrestle?
Oh, he was in a tag match. I know that. It was just recently, but a lot of the guys that you see on Dark.
I'm picturing the guy too. I'm trying to remember who he.
Yeah.
I'm usually good with this, but I feel like lately my brain, because when I watch Dark, like I kind of miss little details because I do.
Yeah, same here. Like you're watching, because a lot of the guys in Dark. Most of them are doing enhancements, so you're not really always paying attention. But sometimes you see
No, some of
someone
them,
you
like,
may
stand
know.
out, though.
Yeah.
Some of them stand out with their styles. But
Like
no,
I,
Well, I mean, with me, a lot of people on Dark, I know personally through wrestling and whatnot, and a few
like
of them actually.
you know, I'm sure you know what's his name, VSK, because I saw him wrestle.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
Did
yeah.
I see him wrestle? VPW, I think. I've seen
Yeah.
him a few
Mhm.
places.
I know him through that
Apparently
Creator Pro.
graduate high school VSK. Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
definitely him, and also a few of them that just got signed to AEW. Mark Sterling as the manager for
Oh, that
Yeah.
ambulance chaser.
and Bear Country.
Oh yeah. Either one of them's
Bear
injured
Country,
right now.
Long
If I'm
Islanders?
correct.
Yep, Bear and well, actually Bronson is from Long Island.
I was gonna say I thought they were from
Memphis.
upstate New York.
Yeah,
No.
Bear Mountain.
Yeah, Bear Mountain. Yeah, but I've known them for years through the well, 'cause I met a lot of them through Creator Pro, which is
Well,
which
yeah,
is a school.
Yeah,
Which is, it's so funny to me. A lot of the Creative Pro guys are in AEW, but yet one of the co-founders of Creative Pro is in the well, I guess
In
the
the partnership.
partnership or whatever they're called now. Impact. But
Well, actually, one of them is at Impact, and the other one is the producer for WWE.
WWE, yeah.
Mhm.
What's his name? The red hair.
Pat Buck.
that buck.
Pat
Yeah.
Buck.
hmm
It's more. It was more Pat Buck's before it was Myers, right? Pat Buck kind of, or they started together.
So the story behind that was Pat Buck started Wrestlepro in Jersey.
Right.
That was like 2000 and well, they started Creator Pro well, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. It was another company in Jersey for like 4 years called PWS, Pro Wrestling Syndicate. And something happened between him and his partner. So beginning of 2016, it changed into Wrestlepro. However, a couple of years prior to that, Buck and Myers started Creator Pro in Hicksville, just as a school and whatnot. And then beginning of 2015, they started doing shows there, which obviously I'm the voice of. Well, as far as I know, I'm still the voice of. But I've done mostly every single Creator Pro show, and I only had to miss one because it was at the start of the pandemic due to health reasons. So I really couldn't.
Yeah.
But otherwise I've done every single Creator Pro show. And because of the Creator Pro school, Creator Pro New York, they decided to call the school in Jersey Creator Pro New Jersey. So basically, it's Creator Pro as a whole. It's just two separate companies.
They're divisioning it out. Like there's Jersey, kind of almost like how New Japan has its New Japan Strong, which is like the United
exactly.
sector.
Oh,
And
exactly.
The LA Dojo, and then
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing, but just on a smaller level. Even though I feel like the way New Japan Strong runs, it's so localized anyway.
Well, yes and no, in my opinion, because don't forget, New Japan has that dojo in Los Angeles.
Well, right.
yeah, that's what we were just talking. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that one guy,
Chris
Carl
Conrad.
Fredericks, he's a good one out there.
Carl Fredericks is my favorite recent Young Lion graduate. Like of all
Absolutely.
the upcoming recent Young Lions, he's
I
probably
like the other one. Help me out, Chuck. Rhino.
Was it Ren?
Clark Connors.
Clark
Oh,
Connors.
Clark is good too. Yeah, Clark is good too.
They're like the top two going right now. Ren Narita also, but Ren Narita is pretty much at that level. He's a little bit above them. Like if you go down, I feel like he's that next one to really become
I thought it was Alex who was next. Alex Conklin, isn't he?
Well, he's still technically a Young Lion.
Okay, because I thought he was
Really?
next in line.
I think he's technically considered a Young Lion still. I don't think he graduated yet. Because Clark Connors just graduated.
Yeah. And Narita's supposed to be in an excursion.
Yeah, but he's doing. That's where he's doing the U.S. states so strong. That's why he started to do the dark stuff.
Yeah, that was cool watching him on Dark.
I didn't know it at the time, but looking back in hindsight, I was amazed when I first discovered Jay White when he was in Ring of Honor. I didn't realize that was his excursion.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until he showed up at New Japan doing the Switchblade.
Well, yeah, he trained with Fale School in New Zealand or whatever, and apparently he was running through that. Apparently, the reason he caught his breaks was because apparently Finn Balor discovered him when he was still Prince Devitt.
Really?
I was reading up on this recently. Yeah, he's a big tie to he was almost like a protege of also Prince Devitt.
He went through the system though.
Yeah, he was a complete. Oh, he went through the full Young Lion system. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So did Prince Devitt. I was watching during the pandemic last year. I went back and I watched everything on New Japan World Wrestle Kingdom. So I watched Wrestle Kingdom 1 and Wrestle Kingdom 2, and I'm sitting there laughing because Devitt was still a young lion at that point. So it was funny to watch him as like a young lion. But they were also stifled because at the time there was still bad blood between New Japan and Impact before this all kind of has come into fruition. So like half of the Wrestle Kingdom cards were like cut from them because the first couple of them were with Impact. So like a lot of that, I think it started with Impact actually. And like,
Rod, move your camera down.
Was that?
There he is. Okay.
I was trying to yell at Rod for not.
No, I still
Oh, Rod.
that was stretching. That's what it was.
You were
But I
like,
still remember
hiding.
that. Anybody ever watch that Bound for Glory they had in Japan?
No.
Which one?
Yeah, I
Impact.
did.
The Bound for
they,
Glory
uh,
they had in Japan.
They did a partnership with Muda's company, Wrestle One.
Yeah, because it was Sonata and Storm against Muda and Tajiri in the main event.
Yeah,
Yep, I remember that.
That was
Not
in Japan.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
wasn't Muda in like kind of doing stuff with Impact for a while, even beyond that? Wasn't he?
I mean,
in
Sonata is a former X Division champion.
Sonata.
people
Well, I
don't-
meant
yeah.
Muda. Muda though was
Yeah,
I
him
think
and
it-
Storm
yeah,
had a little
yeah,
rivalry going.
same time.
Like 2014, him and Storm had like a rivalry going.
Hey, I don't
And
watch
actually,
it because I think it's a trash show. That's just my opinion.
Pipe down.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say Impact is a trash show?
I did.
That's what he
He's a
said.
hater. He's a hater.
Okay, you might want to bite your tongue when I say this, buddy, because you're talking to a guy who actually announced for Impact. All right,
I know.
When?
2019.
Okay.
Pretty cool, though.
So that was 2019. That was
2 years
that
ago.
Pritchard or after Pritchard?
That was a couple of years after Pritchard.
That was
when-
was Callis there, and when you
Yeah,
were
that was like
Yeah.
because Callis was commentating that year.
Yep, Callis and Matthews
So
were
when
commentating.
I'm assuming you was probably before they decided to bring back freaking what's his name?
what? Yeah, Dave Penzer.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
He's still announcing for
Tip my
Impact,
tongue.
right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Go ahead, Rod. I'm sorry. I'll say it.
I was there. I was there at the end of the Lucha Brothers run. I was there for that.
I remember that. Rebellion when they lost the titles.
I debuted for them actually when they did their WrestleMania show in Rahway when they had that massive show at 11 o'clock at night, and it was on Fight TV. And
Are
the
you
main
on
event
Impact Plus? If I go to Impact Plus, will I see you?
You won't see me, but you'll hear me.
Oh, cool.
I'll get into that. I'll get into how they do things. So
FYI, just clarifying back to my Impact is trash. I don't actually hate Impact. It's not a show I consistently follow. I'm honest about it, but I more do it just to annoy Rod because that's kind of our dynamic. I just do things.
I was gonna say.
Degenerate.
I was gonna say, you're talking about Impact from like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I can understand why it sucks.
Well,
sucks.
I mean, my opinion, man, I don't like what Dixie Carter did to Impact.
I still
don't
feel
like-
like
To Impact.
I feel like
Well,
they,
in the last few years. Sorry, go ahead, Rod.
No, I feel like really like what really hurt Impact was the Hogan era. Them trying like 2010 trying to go up against Raw. That was a mistake.
That was stupid.
That was the start of
was a
it.
mistake.
That was the start of it.
What's his name? Vince Russo putting his 2 cents in kind of killed it a
God.
bit too.
And also Billy
opinion.
Corgan running it. And also Billy Corgan running it for a hot second.
You don't. I mean,
He's doing a lot
I
better
thought
with
that was
NWA.
what
Put
made
it that
better,
way.
no?
I know,
A lot better
but
with NWA.
I will say Slammiversary 2017 was Slammiversary 2017 was kind of like the resurgence of Impact, in my opinion, because
Even though I
that's
bet
when-
you they wish they could have reversed it. If you go back
I
in
know.
time, that the main event, if they could do that differently, they definitely would have.
if they didn't
What
bring
was
in
the main
Hogan
event?
and Bischoff and all those guys, that would have been
What
things would
was
have been
the
a lot
main
different than
event?
this.
Del
What was
Rio
the main
versus
event?
Lashley, title for title match, the unification of the
Who
Impact and
versus
GW.
Lashley? I didn't hear you.
Del Rio.
Oh,
Del Rio.
Oh, excuse me, El Patron. I'm sorry.
yeah. it
El
was-
Patron, whatever.
It doesn't matter either way. He's going to jail in a few months anyway. Whatever.
That's fine. Anyway, so Anyway, so I debuted the Impact WrestleMania weekend. Got the call literally the day of because I was in Jersey City working security for Bloodsport, and that's when Pat Buck called me and said, "Hey, are you in the area? Because Impact needs an announcer tonight." And of course, the biggest weekend of the year, and obviously, yeah, why not? I got one rule that I've learned for years is always bring your gear because you never know what to expect. And luckily, I brought my suit in my car and decided to, check out Bloodsport. And I worked Impact, and it was 11 o'clock show. It was weird doing the show at 11 o'clock, but the show was solid from start to finish. They had the Ultimate X match, which was pretty insane. The main event was the Lucha Brothers against Sabu and returning to Impact at the time, RVD.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That match was insane. I remember that.
And what I think made it even more okay for Impact, and I understood why later on. They never let their announcers out, in the ring doing stuff because they're on a time crunch, massive time crunch, especially when it comes to TV tapings. Because say one match is done, and then the matches, they leave the ring. Okay, 15 seconds going right into the next match. So because it's a time restraint thing, especially if you have 14, 15 matches in a span of 3.5 hours. Yeah, I can understand why. So I was behind the curtain, but my voice was projected, and people knew my voice already. So that first show, when I'm doing the whole introduction for Sabu, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, death-defying Sabu, it was I had goosebumps listening to 1,200 plus people saying it along with me during
awesome.
that show.
No,
go ahead.
I was going to say, what you did, the way you announced, our Ring of Honor does the same thing. You never see the announcer in the middle.
Well, I mean, for Ring of Honor, they've done the last year they've changed because of course they're in the bubble. But when they were on the road all the time, they were Bobby Cruz was always in Bobby or Nick, one of those guys. They're always in the ring, but because again, time restraints, especially with Impact, you had 2 days worth of tapings. Okay, I did 2 tapings with them in June and November, and both of them were at the Melrose Ballroom in New York City.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, so that was pretty cool too. And again, I was in gorilla position next to the producer, literally watching it on the monitors, which was fine. People knew I was there, but they understood why, they weren't allowed. I wasn't allowed out there because again, you had like 14, 15 matches. 14, 15 matches each night, and you had like 2 in-ring promos, and you had a span of like 3.5 hours to get it all done. And this was from beginning of June, and they were building up to that Slammiversary when there was that huge match between Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
That was
and then November,
right?
No. That was later on,
Okay.
which I'll get into right now. November was their last set of tapings for 2019. And again, they had they were taping for at least like 4 or 5 episodes worth of material. And that was leading into Hard to Kill, which was Sami Callihan against Tessa Blanchard, and that's when she won the title.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the I was so happy for that. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Because at the time I really wasn't following Impact, but I would keep
now that's another title they wish they probably didn't do now. That's probably another one.
Actually, at the time, it was a great move pre that because it was.
No, at the time, yeah, but now you look back at it now, you're like, oh.
No, I get you.
With
everything else that's going on, yeah.
With what they did with that, I'm surprised that WWE didn't try to do something like that with Charlotte and say, yeah, this is a history moment, like they.
Hey, don't give any ideas. Don't give out any ideas right now, okay?
Well, here's the thing. It's already been done. Tessa Blanchard, who they didn't really do much with after the May, May Young.
Well, I heard about why that was because apparently when they signed Ricochet, they heard about the bad blood between them, and Ricochet was the biggest star at the time. So
yeah, that's clearly changed since.
But Tessa Blanchard at the time was doing something that I don't think, other than Chyna being the first woman to be the Intercontinental Champion, I don't think a woman, they ever had a woman who had the men's
major
title.
championship like that.
So
I mean,
that was
I mean,
pretty
you've had
Holly won the whole
groundbreaking.
title.
you've had you've had a few women win the hardcore title. Now a few
Yeah.
win the 24/7 title,
Yeah.
but never like a major championship like
Right.
that.
Those are
and
giveaway.
that was groundbreaking, and that's actually I mean, that's another time that impacted something before WWE, because knockout tag titles came before WWE's tag titles.
Nobody knows that. Yeah, I mean, granted, WWE, they all steal from each other. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Every company steals from another company.
Yo, but all I gotta say is though, like, Impact is savage as fuck, man. What they did Thursday, man, that was freaking hilarious, but it was savage too.
What happened Thursday?
So there was a segment where there was like a fight between Fire and Flavor and Havoc and Nevaeh. And like,
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Havoc threw like Kira Hogan in like one of those like portable garbage cans.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
like Kira Hogan's like, what the hell is this? She grabs a bag and it's a trash bag and it says Mickey on it.
Oh, I didn't. I missed that actually.
Oh, I heard about this.
I was like, wow, like no Impact did it. I was like, wow.
There was since you mentioned the trash bag, there was another like segment later on where Tommy Dreamer comes out as the representative of Anthem, saying that Don Callis is fired, and as Don Callis saying this is a stupid decision, all of a sudden you hear Tommy on the mic saying there's a trash bag with your name on it in the back. I'm like,
I saw that.
oh my god!
Oh, by the way, you do know that it was announced like a month before that Don Callis was decided to kind of
like
we knew
up for that, yeah.
And they as you know, Impact is taped.
Yeah.
No, not Impact.
It's not like it's a big secret.
Oh,
well, I will say though, they're actually doing the smarter thing during this whole pandemic, because pre-pandemic they were doing like 2 to 3 days worth of tapings and doing like 15 matches on each thing, but now they are down there because I have a few sources within Impact. They're down there for at least like 4 days, and I think they're doing an episode per day.
That's good.
So,
you're getting it all out.
And
now they're building up to their biggest thing, Slammiversary, in a few weeks with fans.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, and I'm sure we're gonna see, just like last year, some former WWE talent show.
Well, then, WWE did their shall we say spring cleaning
Again.
And
and this is why it's called attention wrestling disorder, because we go all over the damn place because of our attention ADD, all of us with our ADD mentality. And that's why I banned, for the most part, I may watch Hell in a Cell. That's why I banned for myself Raw and SmackDown. I refuse to watch it after what they did. No, because I'm pissed off at how WWE treats its talent.
This is the interesting debate of wrestling right now. You have like your perspective where like there's that anti-WWE, and then you have like the other side, which is like so anti-AEW.
No one here is AEW though in this room.
I'm totally.
No, you talking about in general.
I'm saying in general.
In general.
Oh.
It was a general comment. I'm just saying it's amazing because like your viewpoints, like the way you think. It's amazing how even wrestling is divided now with like fandom.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's like your perspective, who's very like more on the AEW. You're not happy with current WWE. You're in that sector of like wrestling fan, but then you have the other end, who's like the diehard WWE fan, and they hate everything AEW and they crap on Cody.
Because AEW is amazing.
Speaking of AEW, I don't know if you got now you got me on the whole attention wrestling disorder shit.
Do it.
Do it. By all means.
Actually, Chuck, you'll get a kick out of this. As a fellow New Yorker, they announced they are coming to New York in September.
Yeah, I heard about that.
We know.
At Arthur Ashe, I cannot believe that. And it's funny, for the longest time, I'm thinking to myself, man, can you imagine if they did a wrestling show in here for many years? And surely enough, someone stole my idea.
You knew it was coming.
I have to step on you, though. He may be a current fellow New Yorker, but damn it, I am from New York, even though I live in Florida. So is Rod.
We're all New
We
Yorkers
are-
here. We are.
We're all true
And
New
it's not about-
Yorkers.
Here's a question. You're a sports fan, Ryan? You're a sports guy?
Of course. You're damn right.
Rod is the biggest sports nut you'll ever meet, ever, in your entire life.
Yep.
Rod's just bitter because the superior New York hockey team is in the playoffs.
Oh
and
my God! Here we go. Here we freaking go.
I mean, but we are getting our butts kicked by the Rangers South, so I guess it's some retribution.
Pipe down.
You watching
Yeah.
hockey, Rod, is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
know.
got it.
I saw he posted that in the chat. I saw he posted that video in the chat that day.
It was a basketball game, Jay. It was.
It was the Knicks.
It was.
That, I would basketball game, whatever it was. I'd rather watch that on a Friday night than SmackDown. What?
Me too.
Hey, listen, SmackDown has actually gotten better over the time. I will pick like SmackDown over Raw any single day, in my opinion.
Well, over Raw, maybe, but I don't know,
Bruce
dude. Like,
Pritchard.
I've been watching it for the last few weeks, and I rather turn on New Japan Strong, and then, I mean, obviously, rather AEW and New Japan Strong than what SmackDown's offering. I'm sorry,
So-
I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just not into it anymore as I was.
That's your opinion, man. That's all that matters. That's your opinion.
Yep.
Still love NXT brands. That I can't stop saying.
Okay, last night that was fire too. This week.
Oh
Huh?
yes.
Who was fired?
No, it was,
No,
it
no, no.
was fire. UK this week.
Oh, it
Oh
was.
yeah, that was awesome, man.
It was a good week.
UK's been great for the past
I
couple of weeks.
haven't been able to see it NXT UK. I heard that Miko Satomura won the women's title against
Yo,
Kaylee Ray.
He
But
did, and
that was a great match.
Our fantasy league, I got a shit ton of points for that because that's
There
what
you
it
go.
is. It's actually the only WWE person of any brand I'm running with right now, and I'm still in like contention. I'm big on New Japan with that stuff, so like I draft New Japan.
Yeah, and like
You're not
the
in
way-
top four, Tuck.
I'm in top 6.
I'm number 4, damn it. And like I said, if you get past me this week, then I'll consider you a threat. Right now, you're
Oh,
not.
that's it.
Then carry on, okay? Carry on, okay?
All right, go ahead, Ryan.
What was I saying? I don't know.
No, but that's what happens
That's
when you.
what happens. We were talking about Miko Satomura.
So Bianca is
Oh,
making
yeah.
history tomorrow.
What kind of history is she making tomorrow? Oh, Hell in the Cell?
She's the first official non-4 horseman woman to compete in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, wow.
Who is this again? I
Bianca
Bianca
Belair.
Belair.
Oh, Bianca, yeah.
yeah.
Because WWE has this brilliant
Good for her.
thing they do where every time even something remotely new happens, it's history. They're making history. Everything they do is making history. I could cut my foot off during a wrestling match. I'm the first wrestler ever to cut my foot off during a wrestling match.
Such a damn degenerate, I swear.
There you go.
It's history.
History.
This is what they do, though.
Who's the first person to pick their nose in the ring during a wrestling match? That's history.
Oh
Yeah,
my
really.
God.
Probably Antonio Rocca in the 30s.
Oh my God, such a damn degenerate. Such a freaking
Who's the first
degenerate,
one
I
to
swear.
shit their pants in the ring? Because that's happened.
Oh my God.
That was
yeah.
history.
Flair's done it.
Actually, I have a feeling it was either Adrian Adonis or Bastion Booger. I don't know why. It seems like one of those two would have shot their pants in the ring.
I'm thinking more of Booger. I'm thinking more of Bastion Booger.
I mean,
You don't think that's happened way before WWE? You don't think that's happened like in the AWA or
I mean, it's
the
possible.
Memphis?
I mean,
no, but I'm just picking wrestlers I think would resemble it. Because I mean, then again, if you look really closely at Bastion,
Hey,
Booger's
Fla-
legs,
hey,
it looks
Flair's
like
done
there's
it.
some skid marks on him. If you catch my drift.
Oh.
oh,
I've
Flair's
heard them
done it.
talk about like why the announcers were like the commentators mentioned why they wear dark pants during pay-per-views because they can't, leave.
Hey, people got to piss
They've
themselves.
implied that they've pissed themselves during that, they've implied.
You do what you gotta
Implied.
do. Listen, you do what you got to do.
Right?
This is where this goes, Ryan. This is where this goes.
Yeah, these two degenerates,
Aye.
let me tell you.
I'm not a degenerate. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah, okay.
All right. Let's back on track.
I mean, Ryan's getting a kick out of this, so
I am. And actually, right before I got on the call, right before I got on this, I have some breaking news of another event I'm working with coming up soon.
Tell us about it.
So one of the companies I worked with in the past called Invictus Pro Wrestling. They're based out of New York, but because of the pandemic, they couldn't do shows in New York, so they started in Jersey. And before I got on here, I got the call, which actually is funny because I was supposed to work another event in PA, but I had to say no to that due to a family party in Jersey, ironically in Jersey. But the promoter called me, asked me to work the show, and I'm looking at it, and the timing, the location is perfect because the show is in the afternoon and my party's at night, so it's like perfect. So I'm happy to announce here that I am back with Invictus on June 26th, this coming Saturday in Little Ferry, New Jersey, with a massive card. When I mean massive card, I'm trying to think. It's a lot of local, like, big name talents, but the main event, which I hope to God that the right people watch it. AJ Gray, who's been killing it all over the indie scene, against the current MLW World Champion Jacob Fatu.
Oh wow,
good.
So Rod, Carlos, but we might have to hitch a ride to Jersey next Saturday.
Well,
possibly.
Well, here's the other thing too. If you guys can't make it to Jersey, don't worry, because I just found this out as well. They are streaming it live on IWTV.
We have IWTV.
So Rod, you know what we got to do now? We got to hang out on Saturday and watch this event and see.
I'm down for that.
Oh, I'm with you guys.
I think 2 or 3 o'clock. I think it is. But once you see me posted all over the freaking place, you'll know what it is. But yeah, it's. But no. So I'm back. So I'm back with Invictus, and then also I'm back with Wrestlepro, because they're coming back in July with a massive card featuring Brandy Lauren, who just recently got released from NXT.
I know that name.
And Eddie Edwards.
Is he okay? Though? Because he just had the surgery, so is he all right? But
yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine by then, because I think the surgery was like a minor setback. But as of right now, he's scheduled to go for the world title on our show.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. By the way, Rod, we both know that Dave Rich is still the superior wolf of.
Oh my God, pipe down over there.
Wait, he just got back to wrestling, by the way. If you guys
know.
Yeah,
we're watching MLW draft.
Came back to yeah.
Well, here's the thing. MLW was not the first company to bring him back.
Did we tell him we know this?
Well, do you know where he made his first appearance in 3 years?
Yeah, because we had Brian Tamarello on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Damn it, Brian!
So, GSW, yes, we know.
Brian had to ruin the surprise, didn't he? I love Brian.
He didn't ruin anything.
I love Brian.
We had him on the day before.
We actually had him on the show to hype up that show, believe it or not. So the timing worked out impeccably.
Like I said, he had the no, I'm just kidding. No, I love Brian. And actually, funny enough, both him and I actually work for Global Syndicate. He works for the main pay-per-views, and I work High Voltage, which is like their version of NXT.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just released another match. It was Vicious Vicky against Masha Slamovich for the.
That was you. That voice was you, because I've been watching High Voltage.
That's me, my man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start watching High Voltage.
I've been. I've watched. The last one I watched was like episode 5, and then obviously 6 was the match from the GSW main event, because of the whole thing of the satellite cutting down.
No, what happened was someone accidentally hit the extension cord.
Yikes!
Oh,
yikes!
They lost the feed.
Yeah, but because did someone get into deep shit because of that? I mean,
I had no idea, but that's what happened.
I didn't know that's what was why. That sucks.
That's a yikes move right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All it takes is that one stupid extension cord to be tripped up, and you lose everything.
Hey, but you know what? They did the right thing by doing the whole match online. And one of the matches. Radio J is
Sure, you can call me that.
Radio J. I've known you for over a decade, man. I'm going.
Fine, whatever.
There's still Radio J in my eyes. All right.
Okay.
But one of the matches I think you probably saw was a triple threat with Wrecking Ball Legursky,
Yeah.
Ben Bishop, and Smiley.
Right. That was one of the earlier movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of
on High Voltage. Yeah. That was the first one I saw. Yeah.
Yep. Later on down the road, I don't know when they're releasing it, but there's gonna be another match. It's the Shooter Yoya against he's really a tiny guy from Washington D.C. He's been on Bloodsport and GCW a lot against Robert Martyr, and in my opinion, being that phenomenal, okay, not to throw any shades out there, but it was like watching an old school Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit style match.
Nice.
And you know how good those matches were back in the day.
Quality. That's like what I like seeing in a wrestling match.
And Yoya is 23 and Martyr's 24. So that shows, holy shit.
Nice.
You can still work even though you're young.
And then also RJ, there was another high voltage match. It was a women's match with Janai Kai against Lady Frost. I don't know if you saw that one. It's on their YouTube. It's on their YouTube page. Check
I know Lady Frost has been everywhere lately.
She's been killing it right now. She's like one of my top favorite female I've announced for in the indies.
There's a PWI article about her and her boyfriend being like a top couple in the indies or something like that.
Yeah, Victor Benjamin. Yeah, great. The Savage Gentleman. Excuse me. I don't want to get any heat from him. No, Victor Benjamin's a great, awesome guy. I've worked with him a few times.
And that's cool. I mean, that you, just like Brian, you get to work with a lot of people you probably watched or just new talent that you've never seen before.
Absolutely. And like I said, I've been
now that we don't always get to see right away.
Exactly. And what's funny, like I said,
he gets it first.
Yeah. But no, like I said, I've been doing this for 9 years this summer, and a lot of people I've seen come and go. A lot of them I've seen them like killing it on TV. Perfect example, MJF.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he'll admit it to this day, even though he'll be a dick about it, but that's just character.
Him being a legitimate dick. Like, I know he doesn't break character, so he always.
I wonder when anyone has seen a guy break character.
Anyways, but I got to announce him and Bear Bronson's first ever wrestling match.
Oh, sweet.
That was 2015. And then seeing Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Dark Order. Preston Vance, 10. I've known him for a while.
I saw John Silver, and I want to say it was at Deer Park, in the wrestling. I forget who, but that's where I first saw John Silver, way before AEW.
Oh, NYWC probably in Deer Park. Maybe
it was NYWC. There was this dude.
Where they have those shows at, it's literally like 5 minutes from my house. Where they have those shows at.
Yeah, it was because that was the Order. The Order of the Black was on that show.
Yeah, and funny enough, Dan and I actually played their song.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know. Dan wrote the song for him. Sorry, Rob. What were you saying?
No, I'm saying like where they have those NYWC shows at Deer Park is literally like 5 minutes from my house, literally.
I remember getting lost trying to find the damn thing because at the time,
those factories and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
You go in there for the front, those factories, yeah, you can get lost over there, like.
I eventually found it. No, it kept taking me to like a schoolyard. I'm like, this is not a park or something. Like, this is not the.
You probably went to the community center.
Maybe it looked like in a warehouse area, an industrial area.
Oh, you might have been at Birchwood then. You might have been over by Birchwood Park then.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I know on that show there was this guy. I don't know. He had American flag tights or something. He was. I thought he was like the John Cena type guy.
Braden Knight.
Maybe, I don't remember, but
I know who you're talking about. His name is Doug. I know him. He lives in Florida.
What's the name of the guy who is tagging with Acosta and feuding and just changed his name?
Stockade.
Yeah, Well, when he was before he was just Cade, I saw Stockade wrestle. When he had that title and all that, whatever title of the.
And when he had that feud with a guy named Scyther. Oh my God, that was going back years.
I also saw, I think Dickie Betts,
Dickie Rhodes.
Dickie Rods. He
Yep.
was. I know him from his faction in Jersey, and then I saw him wrestle in Long Island as well, as with Rob Vegas, who was on one. I think it was either NWC or VPW, but I met them in Jersey.
Wait, he never teamed with Rob Vegas.
Yes, there was. Maybe I'm confusing because there was.
Okay,
Rob Vegas was in an Ace Pro Wrestling. Rob Vegas was in the section.
You're talking about Rob Vegas, the guy that always did this, right?
Bald guy, yeah.
Yeah, his partner was Mike Donovan, he's killing it right now in the Indies too, and he's also part of Global Syndicate. Yeah, it was him. It was Silent Finesse. That's what you're thinking of. Maybe,
but no, there was this Hollywood faction and the leader was called like Hollywood Joe something. And this was
wow. Yeah, that was years ago.
Saxton, Hollywood Joe something fought Mo Saxton in the main event at Ace Pro Wrestling, where they did a spot they were on like top of a balcony and did a spot into a table.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But a former friend of mine, we're not friends anymore, was reffing that match. That's why I went. It was in Union City.
Oh, okay.
That was actually the night I met Lethal and Shelley, Alex Shelley.
Oh, okay.
So, because I know Lethal does stuff with that promotion. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just
you want to say something, Chuck?
No, I said Alex was a favorite of mine. No,
But yeah, because I just thinking about it, I'm like, because it takes me back to when I would go like, I've only seen like a handful of indie shows, and a couple in New Jersey, a couple in Long Island, and there's one here called CCW that I want to check out. They're doing stuff with Alita. They're doing.
I know. I think it's called the Coastal Championship Wrestling or something like that.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I know about them too. I keep having them hitting me up saying, "Hey, want to come down and announce a show?" But the problem is, whenever they reach out to me, I am already booked at other shows.
That's crazy. I just worked out recently when Dan Barry wrestled on something. I'm trying to remember what he wrestled on now.
Who's Dan Barry?
He's a
Dan Barry. I love Dan Barry.
What was he? I'm trying to remember. Was he on Dark or was he on something else? I feel like
he was on Dark.
He was Dark. Yeah. Right? I thought it was Dark. I'm trying to remember what he was on.
What's cool is,
and I remember him being, because he was a Belmore guy, like a local guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you'll see all these guys that you've seen like indies on Dark. Is Max Caster, from what I heard, is from Rockville Center, where I grew up.
Yep. He's from RVC, and again, I got to announce his first match as well.
Way after I graduated. That guy's what, in his like mid-20s? Yeah.
Apparently,
he's a What's up?
What?
Apparently, Jay's old.
Well, apparently.
I am old. I'm older than all three of you.
I'm probably younger than all three of you, so it works out.
How old are you, Chuck?
I'll be 35.
Hell no. I'm going to be 29 in July.
Like I said, I'm older than all. I'm 42. I win. I might look like I'm 12, but I'm 42.
Why?
And you'll be 29. Okay, good. You're not even 30 yet. Good for you, man. You got a lot.
I feel like I'm like 50 with everything I've done.
I feel like I'm my age. I don't know.
Want to weigh in on this? Almost 40.
Oh my God! Pipe down over there.
I'm 42. You can't hide. You can't hide. I'm 42.
Anyway. 35, Robert. Should we tell the story about what I did to you on your 35th birthday?
Oh my God!
This
is why Chuck's a degenerate.
I'm not a degenerate. So.
Oh yes, you are.
I'm about to blow Rod's spot up like big time here.
Oh my God!
Can't wait.
So Rod's 35th birthday. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings in Deer Park. We got a group of friends.
I've been there.
And Rod loves honey mustard. I'm gonna disclaim
That's a lie. That's a lie.
So
That's
as
the
a
biggest lie
specific
Chuck will tell
gag, I
tonight.
decided to be funny, there's I did this on purpose. So I had the waiter bring him a bunch of honey mustard, but it was really a rib for the real distraction, which was I had them because they don't sing happy birthday. They announced birthdays on the loudspeaker, so I had Buffalo Wild Wings on the loudspeaker wish Rod a happy 55th birthday on his 35th birthday.
And this is why Chuck is a degenerate. And this is why Chuck is a degenerate.
Oh, it was a great birthday for you.
It's awesome.
Oh, it really was though.
Yeah, you know what would have been even funnier? I'm sorry, Rod, I had to say this. Since they mentioned, 55th birthday, you should have had like, the AARP like package already set up just to give it to him.
I mean, technically, Rod, you do say you're retired, so you're
I am
basically
retired.
What?
I've earned that right. I've earned that right to be retired.
I know. So you might as well be 55, because isn't like the typical retiree age about 55, 50, I know 55, 56.
Typical, but
I know you wish you could retire in like 10 years, Jay, but you got like another 20. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I don't even think I'm going to be able to retire when at the normal retirement age.
None of us are. Come on, none of us are.
No,
I'm good. So
retirement? What's that? That's all I'm gonna say.
I have to, but you know what we didn't bring up? Can I tell them what you were supposed to do today?
Oh, I'll tell the story. I'll save your breath.
Go ahead.
So I had an event booked today in Jersey, in Toms River, with one of the companies I work with, Titan Championship Wrestling. And, the weather was not, the weather's, hot, humid here in New York, and I'm traveling down. The roads are filled with people apparently out and about doing shit. So I'm on the LAE. All of a sudden, I get a message from one of the wrestlers on the show saying, "Hey, did the promoter hit you up?" I'm like, "No, why?" And meanwhile, I'm sitting in traffic on the LAE in Queens. May I add? In Queens. He shows me a screenshot, and I thought, and I'm thinking, this can't be real or not. So all of us in the locker room are on a private group on Facebook, and I see, the copy and paste thing. Due to lightning in the area, which obviously just happened right now, the show got canceled because it's an outdoor show. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh,
I find that funny. I went to, and I'll tell you why. I went to a fair in Stewart County, in Martin County, I guess. Stewart's the name of the area. And it was this big, they were doing like a wrestling show. $1 Million Man was there. The Steiners were there signing. Warlord was there, and Marty Bell, a bunch of people. I think even Ray Phoenix was there before I really was familiar with who he was. And they were supposed to do like a show, but it started to rain. I think they ended up still doing it though.
Well, the thing about this was that the show was actually supposed to happen a half hour ago. Look at the time now, later on, but it was supposed to be a half hour ago.
Right.
And totally understandable, because apparently the storms that were passing through there, because we saw it on the radar, they were trying to hold off on it. And also the building that they wanted to, that were doing it in the parking lot, we asked if we can do it inside. They said no. So that just scrapped the whole plan as well. But it's okay. No, go ahead.
Isn't that what delayed WrestleMania 2? A lightning warning?
Yeah, because they were outdoors,
Yeah, but with this though, it was grateful that they told us ahead of time instead of all of us showing up there with no ring set up, saying, "Okay, where the hell is everything?" So it was nice that they told us ahead of time, and also they're bumping the show back to July 17th in Bayville, and that was an indoor show, their first indoor show in like 14 months, because now that things are back to normal in the Northeast, in the U.S. Okay, compared to last year, this is freaking normal, all right?
I went to Roosevelt Field Mall today, and it was crowded as it ever has been, and half the people were masked, half the people weren't, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's.
I'm actually doing something tonight if I don't fall asleep, because I'm still a little tired. I'm going to a show, which is something I haven't done in over a year. Radio J, RJ show, or Radio J hasn't been to a show in a year? Yep.
They haven't existed in a year.
Yeah, so I'm actually, I'm vaccinated. I'm gonna go to a show in Fort Lauderdale tonight. It's inside, but I know I know from what I've been told that if you're vaccinated, you can take that chance. So I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Good luck. And if you
Hey, listen.
Be like everybody else and wear a mask. It's not the end of the world. No one's
Yeah,
judging.
exactly.
I'm bringing one with me in case.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah, that's.
I don't
Yeah,
wear a
like I
mask
said,
in public for the most
I got my second dose of the vaccine a couple weeks ago, and then a week later I did 2 shows. So
I'm fully vaxxed. It's been like over a
I've
month
been
now.
vaccinated for months, so I've been just whatevering. I mean, I work in healthcare, so like I have to wear a mask. Like I don't have the choice. So like 90%
Right, that's
I
understandable.
have to wear it. So I just if I'm out, I wear a mask. It's just what is for me at least.
So I'm excited. I'm gonna go to a show finally. It's been like camped up in this house for so long. So
I will say like Chuck, do you work in the hospital or anything like that?
No, I'm in the radiology office.
Oh, but still, you guys have been open the entire time.
Yeah. I literally was at work from home for about 6 weeks. Then they put my company in labor pool where they sent us to the hospital. I wound up going to the hospital for 2 nights. Then I opted out of it just because like I have family members with some underlying health issues. So I just so I opted out. So aside from like 2 weeks after that, I pretty much from May 1st of 2020, I was working in the office consistently.
Well, I mean, since you're in the medical field, I will say, that during this whole pandemic, thank you for stepping up with everything that you've done, because I'm sure you guys were swamped during this whole thing. I can't even.
And it was
so thank you guys.
Lost workers, so I was like getting switched over to other positions, and I was dealing with newer things. So it was a lot, and they were still checking patients. We were still seeing like the same number of patients, almost. Even though
like I said, I'm just showing my appreciation to like all the healthcare, including you, my man.
You are welcome.
You're welcome. But I know the feeling too.
Thank you, and you're welcome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. No, it's one of those things, and like as a healthcare worker, most of them are like, "Stay home so we can keep you safe," kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like stay home so we can do our job so you can stay safe.
But I know the feeling too. During this whole pandemic, it hasn't stopped for me because I work in a mortgage company for my regular shoot job, and I
love how you said shoot job on that. Nice.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, I've been working in the office the entire time. It hasn't stopped for me. It's like me and like 8 other people me and 8 other people in the office since the beginning of March of last year.
Right.
So we've been constantly like nonstop, and the housing market's been insane for the last like year.
You're not the what's his name? Conrad Thompson's also that the wrestling podcast guy. He's also a mortgage guy.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I think he's licensed down in
Ric Flair's son-in-law, I should say.
Woo! Yeah, no. But no, with this whole pandemic, and actually, now we're talking a little bit about the pandemic. I'll get a little more into it. When the start of it happened, I was dealing with so much like personal issues. Beginning of April, I lost my mother, not to COVID, but she was dealing with health issues for a while, and unfortunately,
condolences.
She was.
Yeah.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, guys. She was young too. She was 56, and she was in congestive heart failure for the last like few years. And me being the only child, I was taking care of her. So not only was I announcing and working my regular shoot job, but I was also taking care of her nonstop. And at the time, she was in a rehab facility, and that's when everything just shut down. So when I got the call, it was rough. Like I didn't get a chance to say goodbye and whatnot. And actually, for the first few months of not only the pandemic, but the first few months after she passed, I actually was considering retiring from announcing, just walking away, because I didn't have the firepower anymore. Because I felt like my biggest supporter, just left, is gone. But then end of June, I got a call to work a show in Jersey, and then that's when everything picked up even more. So it's like, okay, so I guess the good Lord himself heard me say that, and he said, "Hell no, you ain't giving up.
You got work to do still."
Yeah, man.
Ever since July, like middle of July of last year,
Let's not talk about July, but okay.
Well, I have to. It's my birthday month.
Well,
Man. Come on.
oh yeah, I know, but I'll jump. You already know the story. I told you. In July. Yeah, that's when it happened. So July's going to be a year for me.
Oh, that's right. Wow, it's been a year already for you?
It will be in July 18th when my mom
Jeez,
passed.
man. Jeez, man.
But not, I'm just,
I know.
when that's why it's hard when I hear July. It's just anyway. Go tell your.
Maybe not.
But
I lost my aunt in July, so I know like losing a loved one in certain months it's hard.
April, and so, but I mean, I didn't really. I did know your mom, so my condolences.
Yeah, you've known her for a few years, I think.
Yeah, I think as long as I've known you. I met you when I met your mom.
Yeah, that was 2010, 2011. Because we all got swept in with Dan. That was back when it was Charetta, Revel 9, Craving Strange, I Ignite. I know all these memories are popping.
Bands are still around though.
All of them are still around. I know.
Hollywood Drive-By was there.
Drive-By.
That's Chuck.
Oh.
Calling Dither, this guy.
But yeah, so that's how I've known you. But anyway, go back to July. I don't want to keep you from.
It'll be quick. But when I first start from actually the day after my birthday to now, I've done between almost 50 events. During the pandemic, I've done more shows during the pandemic than I did pre-pandemic. Go figure that shit out.
People are looking for it harder because they didn't have it. People are just so grateful to have things that they're going to go out to things for the sake of going out for things. I think that's
absolutely.
When we went on camera, like we were talking about my One Eye Jack show that you met me in passing, that we realized it was that I think that show had the crowd it did because everyone was just so happy to be out again. And it was like, and that show was literally the first weekend where you were allowed to do what we were doing with minimal curfew.
Yeah, with no, and like I said, you guys were freaking amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And what's funny, when I will say this, when it was in there, no one had their masks on.
No, it's
hey, you know what, Chuck? I have to say something to you.
Yeah.
Something you brought up, Chuck. You brought that up to me, by the way, and I guess you forgot that you forgot.
I don't know what you're talking about. This could be 100.
When I mentioned about Ryan a while ago, you're like, "Oh yeah, I met him that night."
I know. I didn't connect the dots.
And now I remember you actually telling me that.
Boy.
Yeah, I didn't connect the dots on that one. That's burnout break.
And I totally remember you saying that too. Anyway, go on.
That is funny though. Yeah, no, it was crazy. That's funny that you said that because I've been so busy that I get burnout brain sometimes. That, I remember doing things and I forget that I did them, and then it gets connected later. It gets oh shit, life comes first.
I can relate to that, my man.
What happened?
And I can definitely relate to the burnout brain. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
actually, I thought I'd tell you guys too. I may be doing MLW.
Awesome,
nice.
That's badass.
Because it's not definite, but it's a possible chance because they're coming back to live events in July.
Praying for you and good luck to you.
That's awesome.
In July. In July in Philly at the 2300 Arena, also known as the ECW Arena.
Right.
And it's happening on my actual birthday. So, Lord, please give me that gig.
Give
him the gig.
This guy.
I have a resume, everything.
And I think
give this guy a call
every year. But that would be an amazing gift. I hope that you get that gift.
That would be amazing. Just working with them because I worked with Impact and I had the opportunity to work with Evolve before everything happened.
I've been watching the old Evolves and I've fallen in love with Evolve. I think Evolve is one of my new favorite things in wrestling, even though it's not a thing really anymore. Just the idea of it is my thing right now.
Aren't most of Evolve guys in NXT now?
A lot of them are, yeah.
A lot of them are, yeah.
Darby's in AEW. We know he was an Evolve guy.
Yeah, he was.
Ethan Page.
I was going to say, I was going to say, because I know those two had a feud.
Chuck Taylor, Evolve guy. I mean, early Evolve guy, but still was an Evolve guy. Chuck Taylor.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Moxley was an Evolve guy.
Brody Lee was an Evolve guy too.
Brody Lee was Evolve
Yeah.
guy. No, they were all on there. Daniel Bryan did a bunch when he had that short release when he went back to the Indies after the Nexus angle.
Isn't there something that said that didn't Daniel Bryan kind of help come up with the name or something? Isn't that what the story is?
So the story,
Bryan
so the story
Danielson.
the story that I heard about that was he was working with Gabe Sapolsky at Dragon Gate USA. That's when they did that massive. And that was when they kind of dissolved from Dragon Gate years ago. I think it was like 2000, around like 2009, 2010. And it really wasn't as popular. So they're like, you know what? They're bringing up the evolution of, the new up and coming, big names. Ricochet was through there also at Evolve, as well as Ciampa, Gargano. Oni Lorcan was through there. Just a lot of
Candice LeRae was there, I'm sure.
Candice.
Yep, Candice was there.
Did a lot of stuff. Candice was on like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. She was beating up Kevin Steen and stuff.
She got super kicked by the Young Bucks with shoes filled with tacks.
Candice was.
I think I saw that on YouTube.
All of them. Too bad WWE will never go for that with her ever.
Oh hell no.
No.
Mainly because she's too small, I think. Not because of her ability, but because of her size, they wouldn't do it. Because she's actually not like an overly large person, like at all. Like she's kind of on the smaller side, even as a female perspective.
But she can move.
Exactly.
Move.
Dude, they put her in War Games. I mean, it wasn't intergender, but
Right, but I'm saying that I guess that's probably the closest thing though they would do. I feel like they wouldn't do what she did on the Indies in WWE with her because of her. I would think because of her size, because she is, like I said, she's.
Well, I think also like they're trying to crack down on like something of lack of blood in hardcore matches. That's why the guys really don't bleed as much.
Yeah.
On WWE, because it's a health.
It's been a policy for years, though, the blood thing.
Yeah, no, but it's gotten more stricter in the last few years. I know that.
I mean, how many times we watched matches where you've seen the blade come out of somebody's pocket and you see there, oh, nope.
yeah, exactly. But I know with Impact, they just.
It's funny. I think it was our last podcast. I think I actually revealed how wrestling kind of got exposed-ish for me with the bleeding.
Oh yeah, King Kong Bundy.
You're talking about because Hash is a big collector. We had Hash on the show, and he's a big collector of stuff. And I was showing off my WrestleMania 2 VHS tape.
Yeah.
And I explained the one spot that kind of exposed wrestling for me was the spot where King Kong Bundy gets thrown into the cage by Hulk Hogan. He starts bleeding. Mm-hmm. They've edited out on the network since, because I've actually tried to watch this on the network for curiosity to see how they did it. Because they actually did the edit in the Legends of WrestleMania video game too. Because I remember that, because that's a spot in the game too. Because it was like one of the more famous spots in the match. And you see that they botched the camera angle, and you see Bobby Heenan with like a box cutter knife blading Bundy.
And
that's what I learned.
And actually, speaking of collectors, what I'm about to bring up, there's a massive convention that happens in New York twice a year called the Big Event. I got to work with them. This past year, and got to meet shit, I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh yeah, Mark Henry. How can I forget him? Mark Henry. Worked with James Storm, because one of the companies I work with, we have a table at the Big Event called New Evolution Wrestling, and we brought in Snitsky. Oh yeah, we brought in Snitsky, Alpha Jr., James Storm, and oh god, I'm drawing a blank on this. Help me out here. They did a special on him on Vice, and he's the one that slapped the reporter twice in the face.
David Schultz.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. They brought in David Schultz, but that was at a limited capacity. But this year, because they usually do it at LaGuardia, but now they're doing it. They did it at the Marriott across the street. This year, though, in November, I think it's LaGuardia, they're doing full capacity. And again, my company, the company I work with, New Evolution Wrestling, we're bringing in Mil Muertes, Stan Hansen, and Scott Norton.
Nice.
And they already announced some of the big headliners already. They're bringing in Christy Hemme.
Ooh.
Okay.
Tommy End.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Oh.
JBL.
Interesting.
And the main headliner, which was just announced this week, the current AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega.
Kenny, Kenny, by God, Omega. Thanks, dude.
And also, and what's funny, and I'm sorry, now you mentioned that, Tony Schiavone's going to be there too.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
It's Sting. What?
And my favorite Stan Hansen cameo of anything was his role in No Holds Barred, the movie.
Yep.
Teeny Wangers. He was the Teeny Wangers guy.
I want to meet Schiavone. I hear he's cool as hell.
I wanted to make me a drink because apparently he was a barista, and I wanted to see his coffee skills.
Oh my God!
I need to try a latte from Tony Schiavone.
Well, you're gonna probably meet him when you go to the cruise this in October.
If he's on the cruise, I don't know if he's like officially on the cruise though.
If AEW does a show, if AEW does Dynamite there,
a lot of them they don't really hang around. Like some of them do, some of them don't.
Oh,
like I feel like you was somebody you didn't really see him around. I'm actually reading the people on the cruise.
Well, if you can't make it to the cruise, then November 13th, LaGuardia Plaza, because also at that same table with Schiavone.
Oh, I'll be at that cruise. I'll say
if you don't meet him on the cruise, then November 13th, a little bit later on, because also at that same table, which is run by a guy named Kevin S. Nesta at Damage 365, he's bringing in Schiavone and Eric Bischoff.
Nice. I met Bischoff on the cruise. He was cool as hell.
I heard he's really cool. He's like one of those people.
I went on the last one. I didn't go on the first one. I wasn't working at the time, so I just couldn't afford it. I was in between jobs at that point, but
I really need to go on the next one, which is not this one, the one after. I need to go, but anyway, go ahead.
It's a good one. I went to the second one, and that one was awesome. I met the only person I didn't get to meet that I wanted to is Britt Baker, which is going to happen this time.
I ran into her at I think it was after TakeOver New York, after Adam Cole and Gargano had that awesome 2 out of 3 falls match.
That match was insane.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, RJ.
No, just finish your thought, because just finish your thought. 2 out of 3 falls match with Gargano.
2 out of 3 falls match, and a friend of mine had a I forgot what shirt he had on. It was a custom like Adam Cole shirt, not the one that WWE was selling, it was another one. And all of a sudden we see, a woman come over and say like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? And he told her, and I said, wait, hold on, aren't you Britt Baker? And we were talking for a little bit too, and so we had like a little like quick passerby because she was like she had to go go see Adam backstage. But this was like we actually ran into her like outside the Barclays Center, which I thought was pretty cool.
So I'm surprised you don't. Well, maybe you know about this. Chuck didn't know about this. I found out about this from a buddy of mine. Of course, all the cool stuff's happening in New York. While I'm here in Florida. Today is the grand opening of some wrestling store.
Yes. So
and AEW is there.
So in Queens, there's a massive store called the Wrestling Universe, which is run by Jack Sabbath, who also, at the time, I think he still owns it. It's called ICW. He has a store in Queens, and he has another one on Long Island in Comac. But now today, he just opened up another one in Long Beach.
Oh,
yeah, that's where my buddy lives.
Long Beach, yeah. And today they had four people from AEW, like $100 combo, which is not bad.
That's really nice.
No, that really isn't. That's a steal, actually.
Well, let me tell you who they brought in. They brought in Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, The Acclaimed, Serena Deeb, and Ricky Starks.
Oh, wow.
I asked my friend to do me a favor, and he didn't come through. I said, if you meet Max Caster, have him insult me with one of his raps. Call me up.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. I would love to be.
I would have loved that. That would have been awesome, but he didn't come through.
He gave me a good. I met MJF on the cruise, and he gave me a good insult.
Yeah, he said something about your teeth.
Yep, he told me to brush my teeth. It was hilarious.
I love him.
When I met him, I hadn't brushed my teeth yet, and I guess I had some crap in them, and he saw it. And he's like, "Go brush your teeth, bro." Whatever.
Should have breathed in his face.
I thought about it. MJF was a dick, and it was hilarious. And he purposely was dickful. Like going back to it for a second, I can't see him obviously for not breaking character. Obviously, he's gonna be a dick on purpose, but I can't see him being a legitimate dick all the time.
He's like the Andy Kaufman of he's like he is doing his Andy Kaufman. He's on all the time.
Fantastic. I love that. There should be more talent like that.
And he's absolutely killing it right now in AEW. I will say that.
I love that style of heel wrestler. Like those are some of my favorite wrestlers. Like
what's even funnier is that whenever I think a couple of years ago when they did All Out in Chicago, he was actually charging like $125 for a photo op, and he sold out.
I believe it.
Because people actually would want. And what's even funnier is that it's a photo of with him, but it's just him just sitting there going like.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he was just disinterested, and I did.
Hey, listen. My favorite photo of him as a heel is when he's flipping off the kid.
Yeah, I heard about that. Oh, do you know that his father complained? The kid's father complained on Twitter to Cody Rhodes about that, and Cody's like, well, yay, that's MJF or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's. Would you expect him to be a nice guy? Hell no.
Yeah, I mean that when you're, that's what you get with MJF because that's MJF. That's who MJF is.
That the guy's playing a character. He's not going to break character.
Nope.
He's not really insulting you. He's just playing a character and being a jerk and coming off a reputation.
And if you don't like him, he's doing his job.
Listen, that was my what I just said was what I was supposed to him. Listen, he's doing his job. You're supposed to hate him. I'm sorry he hurt your feelings. He didn't mean to actually hurt your feelings. He's just, being a character.
If he's nice to you, I'd be worried that he's setting you up for something.
Right, exactly. It's like, exactly. Just accept it and be honored that he gave you the finger, and you because he gave you a finger, he got heat and he got to do his job, and you have a memory for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Even as a little kid, if I had met MJF and he had done that to me, I would have probably been like, awesome. I would have ran with that story the rest of my life.
I definitely would have too.
Too bad MJF is like 10 years younger than me, so it would have been the opposite in any life.
Yeah, I know, but I will say though, because
like ridiculously young.
Yeah, I think he's like 24, 25, I think.
And he's like 25.
Yeah, because I know he's a
Long Island guy, and he's a Long Island guy.
Actually, funny enough, he actually went to the same high school as some of my friends, and he is a choir boy.
I heard.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't on Rosie O'Donnell or anything singing that song when he was like 5.
Nope.
No. I mean, like he's an actual choir boy because my friends went to the same high school as him, and they were part of I'm not gonna get into it because they'll probably say what the hell, but
well, he did a thing on News 12 about his high school, and he brought it up.
Oh, he did. Okay, yeah, that makes.
Yeah, he mentioned it's documented that he was in choir and stuff like that.
So I mean, come on, he did that thing with Jericho. It's documented. He can sing.
That's true, yeah. But
he did like Nisman. He did all that shit.
He was tenor, I think. I think he said he was tenor in his.
Yeah, But I will say though, despite how everyone hates his character or whatnot, someone like me that's been there, since the beginning, I'm really proud of like where he's progressed into like one of the biggest stars in the world today.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see that, and also with like Bear Country and BSK, Dan Barry, Eric James,
Marty the Moth has been on there a few times. I hope they bring him back for more.
Yeah, and actually that Impact show I did with WrestleMania weekend, I got to work with him. And he was really the nicest guy I've ever met. Marty the Moth Martinez.
I hear he's a nice guy.
Oh,
so what do you have coming up?
All right, so what do I have coming up? Well, the 26th I had that show with Invictus now.
Nice.
Which the following weekend I think I'm off. Yeah, it's 4th of July weekend. I'm not doing any shows. My birthday weekend I might be doing MLW. Fingers crossed. The following weekend I got Titan Championship Wrestling. This is happening because it's an indoor show. The following weekend I got a double shot with Invictus Pro Wrestling again because they asked me for that show too. And then the next day I got Wrestlepro. Trying to think. The 31st I may be in Immortal Championship Wrestling in upstate New York, or if things work out, or if things, if the stars align, I may be working the ECWA Super 8 Women's Tournament.
Nice.
Good for you. That's pretty sweet, man. Good for you.
Congrats.
So if someone wants to book you, if someone wants to find out about you, how do they get in touch with you?
So you can follow me on Facebook at Ryan Peterson. That's just me. On Instagram, it's at Wrestling MC because that's the same thing I had for years. And on Twitter, it's at Ryan MC _92. Yeah, just follow me on all social media, and any promoters out there you want to book me, reach out and we'll talk.
Sounds
Very
good.
cool. So I know and if I gotta get ready for my thing tonight, so I think we're gonna kind of get this wrapped up in a couple of minutes. And so anything else we need to know that's been going on with you?
With me, nah, just really, I'm kind of curious. I'm actually gonna surprisingly watch Hell in a Cell tomorrow to see what's gonna transpire.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
You're gonna actually watch it? You're gonna break your rule right now?
I broke that's not, but it doesn't count. Well, I guess it does kind of count.
You watched it. Stop that. You watched it. You broke your rule. Just accept it.
I just want to see some of the matches. I just want to see. Well, I'm invested in the Drew McIntyre match for fantasy.
So four-time degenerate Rod champion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want to see.
Just bad that he hasn't held the title like forever, but okay.
Hey, Hey, outside of you, I'm one of the more winners.
I've never won. That makes me hungry and dangerous, and I'm coming. You know what? I said I would leave you alone this time, but I changed my mind. You're my focus. I'm erasing you, and I'm going to go after the guy who won the championship last season. I'm going to be the new champion, and that's end of story. Okay.
All right. So here's what we could do. Because we actually have brought up this whole Hell in a Cell, let's do a very last-minute, quick prediction game. What are the matches? What are we thinking?
Well, Lashley's beating Drew, so that's a given.
Yeah, I'm going with
obviously.
I'm going with Lashley on Drew. I'm also going with Bianca over Bailey.
I'm gonna go
and maybe have Becky Lynch come out and beat the hell out of her.
Rhea should beat Charlotte, but then again, everybody thought Rhea was going to do it at WrestleMania. You saw what happened there, so
I don't want the title on Charlotte. I'm sorry, I don't
either. But before
I'm bored with
say that Rhea's going to win. Everybody thought WrestleMania last year.
Come back and you're going to set up a Becky and Rhea.
You know what else is kind of turning me off about Raw lately? And he's my favorite comic book villain, but Rhea Ripley is the damn Joker every time she's coming out.
Everybody's trying to be the Joker Harley Quinn in freaking wrestling, and it's annoying.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss, don't get me started, but Rhea Ripley, I'm kind of, I never thought it would happen, but it did. I'm getting sick of her. I never thought it would happen.
Alexa Bliss is going to win that match somehow by using fire and pyrotechnics just to bury Shayna Baszler.
What's going to happen? She's going to mindfuck Shayna Baszler and win the match. Straight up.
Oh, of course.
That's the match. It's going to be a mindfuck match.
That would be cool if that was the actual match in Hell in a Cell. The mindfuck match.
Right, exactly. That's my point.
And that could be an option in the next WWE video game, too.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else is there. I'm trying to think like what other matches are on there. They announced Cesaro and Rollins again.
Also KO versus Zayn again.
I feel like it's all repeat matches. I feel like it's
there is a new match that no one's seen. I'll actually watch it, even though I didn't really follow on SmackDown, but I know it's happening. Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio.
That's not happening.
Yeah, that happened last night.
That happened on SmackDown.
It was
I didn't watch SmackDown.
Yeah, so then I won't say nothing, but that
say it because I don't care.
Okay, then Reigns retains.
What?
No surprise. Roman retained. No surprise.
Oh, they had the match last night.
Yeah. Inside Hell in a Cell. It was the first Hell in a Cell match in the history of SmackDown.
It was a last minute decision. It was a last minute decision because Fox wanted that match on there, which pissed off USA Network because obviously because the USA Network is an NBC Universal channel,
Right.
and that match was supposed to be featured on Peacock. So it's like, it's pretty much NBC being pissed off at Fox saying, "Hey, you took a marquee matchup away from us. What the hell?" So that's why they threw in Bayley and Bianca Belair inside Hell in a Cell to kind of like counter that.
Yeah. I mean, granted, in my opinion, the Mysterio Reigns match was anything special because there was no fucking build and no fucking hype for it.
It was just out of nowhere.
Match, though. It was a solid match, though.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say and I saw the, I kind of fast forwarded through last week. So wouldn't you say that Roman Reigns attacking the Mysterios was kind of a little bit of a build-up?
Yeah, but normally they do like
that's so minimal. It's just like, oh, you beat up my family. Let me take your title now. Like that's not
Yeah.
really build up.
Normal.
It's like a half-ass lazy build up.
Normal, it would be months.
It would be
it would be weeks,
and like, oh, you beat up my son. All right.
And also, that Friday before the pay-per-view, that's when they build everything up. But since they pushed it to this week, it kind of fucked everything up.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I guess I have to drop the band so I can be more involved in the WWE conversations.
Hey, listen. I'm glad they're going back on the road. That's all I'm going to say.
Look, I'm the fan that I like all promotions. I've learned for myself to take everything at face value. Like every promotion has its strong points, and it has its weak points. WWE right now for me, main roster, Raw is a snooze fest. I pretty much fall asleep watching Raw every week.
Actually, that's what I've been calling SmackDown, snooze fest, and Raw is Monday Night Bore.
hey, SmackDown's okay. What I've been doing on SmackDowns is because I have rehearsal with X Generation every other Friday. So depending on which week we rehearse, I'll pretty much watch SmackDown and go to rehearsal, or I'll watch it until I go to rehearsal. And like,
Ryan, I have a question for all you guys. Who was that woman with Eva Marie that everyone should know about from UK? I mean, really? Why would you do that to her? Why would you do that to Piper Niven? Why would you do that to Piper Niven?
Because they don't want to acknowledge her as Piper Niven. They're trying to think of a freaking new name for her.
I heard a rumor it was going to be Dewdrop.
Yeah.
They have a lot of talent on the main roster because they want to make it a new show, new character, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's stupid.
But in this case,
a lot of people who go to the main roster from NXT after like Shield, it seems like from Tyler Breeze and Adam, what's the
Adam
Rose and all those, it's been all downhill. Look what happened to Tommy End.
Well, he did that to himself though, Adam Rose, to be honest. He did that to himself.
I guess.
Yeah, he did.
With
the last two real built characters that started on NXT and got a push on Raw, legitimately, or the main roster, were the Shield and Bray Wyatt. Name a talent after that they did that was like that became a major name. That
Kevin Owens.
I mean Charlotte.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
But again,
it's kind of been in the mid though.
Even Riddle's doing this tag team RK Bro. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie.
RK Bro. Like again, Raw. Like the only thing that's catching me on Raw is like the tag teams. After the tag teams, I have no interest.
And
I feel like honestly, I saw Matt Riddle in ECW and Impact years ago.
Riddle. No, he was in UFC. He was doing MMA.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm saying.
Got it. Okay.
I get it.
Touche. I realized that he did the notion.
Also another couple of big names that kind of fell off the end. Keith Lee and Damian Priest. What the hell happened to them?
Well, I don't know. Keith Lee has been kind of cryptic about it on Twitter.
It's almost like freaking they blame freaking Damian Priest for what happened to Miz. That was your dumbasses for having the zombies there in the first place.
Oh, please.
Did they really? Is that that's probably a rumor, or do you?
That's probably what you can think about. He hasn't been on TV since.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody was going to have to take the blame for Miz getting injured. What are you going to do?
Punish the zombies. But remember that. What's it called? That Survivor Series of 2011 where Rock came back and teamed with Cena to face Archer.
That was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Awesome
Can't
Truth.
blame the Miz or because you're protecting your top tiers to your talents. If you notice, who got the blame for that bad buy rate? The Miz and Archer. And look, and you saw.
No, it was Miz, more Miz though, like a lot more Miz.
You watched the Miz kind of flounder down the card after that because Miz was like fresh out of like a main event world title run, even with Survivor Series.
But Damian Priest, I feel bad.
Watched him. Oh, he's the IC guy now.
Yeah, I feel bad too. I mean, Damian Priest is pretty damn
you thought
solid.
he would have got like a major push after like how good Bad Bunny did.
Right.
If somebody in here was hating on him, I won't mention no name.
All right, let me say this.
Yeah, well, I told you I changed my mind after Mania, and I admitted it on this show.
We all did. We were all a little questionable about.
I admitted it.
Reggae artists wrestling.
Well, let me say this about Bad Bunny in the WWE. At first, I was like, why the hell is he here? But then hearing the backstories of like him actually training and whatnot, and then his match at Mania. It blew me away in a good way.
Any celebrity that wants to come in now following that, he just set a high standard.
Come on.
Cardi B might be.
And he's also a younger guy too. I didn't realize he was only like 27.
Yeah, he's a couple of years younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Cardi's getting in the ring. I think she's gonna be hosting. She ain't getting in the ring.
I can't stand Cardi. I'm sorry, I really can't stand her.
Neither can I, man.
And as fellow musicians, I don't consider her music.
And then apparently, I heard like SummerSlam's legitimately almost sold out already.
Yeah, good for them.
Opinions to myself because I might get doghouse later if I say certain things about Cardi B. But I have potentially convinced my girlfriend to watch SummerSlam because she might be on it.
Oh boy.
Well, I wonder if she'll be on it. It's not like her song "Up, Up, Up" was all over the.
She's supposed to be hosting. Word is she's supposed to be hosting SummerSlam. So.
Yeah, that's what I heard. She's supposed to be hosting the show too.
And then
you guys think it's going to be a train wreck?
Like 2 segments.
No, I don't think so.
As long as she doesn't call it Summerfest.
Oh my god.
Hey, I'm all about Mike Adamle.
Or get the name of the building they're gonna be at wrong.
I mean, okay. I'm a big Mark.
Isn't that what that was Hogan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here in the Silverdome. I'm sorry, I mean Superdome.
Oh my Jesus.
That's because Hulk Hogan's still reliving 1987 for the rest of his life.
Could be worse. It could be on another show where you're calling the champion of another company.
Ooh.
Man, I felt that burn over here.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, but I've said it before. JR is just not as good as he used to be. That's my only,
Jim Ross, but I noticed it when he was doing some of the New Japan commentary. And at first I thought like, okay, he just doesn't know Japanese customs. So maybe it was weird that I thought it was weird because you're not in Japan. They don't like commentate over the entrances. They're pretty quiet for that. And he was telling the whole backstory over the entrances. I'm like, well, that's a little weird. But then when he butchered Marty Scurll's name and his backstory, I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't pay attention to anything.
It's like, dude, you got to know what you're doing when you're like, you know what? I have a quick question. Then I think we're really going to wrap it up. But because I didn't ask you, how do you prepare and I'm pretty sure I asked Brian the same thing, but what's your way of preparing when you have to announce different names in a certain amount of time? Do you have time to go over in your head? Do you have cue cards?
So whenever I do shows, first of all, I'll give you all a little behind the scenes. There's always a quote unquote call time, basically with everyone, getting there by a certain time, because God forbid if they need to change anything on the card, as they say on the posters, cards subject to change.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. But normally I just use cue. If I go to a new place, I always have like cue cards ready because I don't know who any of these people are. Like this place today, I probably would not have used cue cards because I know everybody on there, working for them from time to time and whatnot. And but yeah, I have cue cards, and if the names sound easily to pronounce, then obviously I'll say it. But if it's something like difficult, like I've never heard of before, I just ask them, respectfully, not to sound, and I quote, not to sound, disrespectful, but how do you pronounce your name? And they tell me, and I was like, okay, that's perfect. That's all I want to know. Thank you. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. You could be on like WWE and on a reality show and forget Jinder Mahal's name.
I remember. I remember. I watched that episode. I was watching that episode of Superstars too when she did that.
Not yeah.
Oh no. That wasn't Jinder Mahal. That was, I think, calling Zack Ryder Jack Swagger.
Oh, but no, because she did in Total Divas.
No, I saw that episode. I saw that like episode of Superstars.
Remember his name?
Oh, Diva! Oh my God! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she botched. It was a gender thing, and she
like she was like 3MB was coming to the ring, and she said Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, and totally did not say Jinder Mahal. And he got
that's right. That's right. Yeah. JoJo. That's what.
But now she's back now, though. But of course, despite that,
it was Eva Marie who messed that up.
Yeah. It was Eva. It was Eva. And the worst part is,
so have you ever had a moment like that where, I mean, you said you know these guys, but have you ever had a like absent? I mean, we all have. I had an absentee moment, and introducing a World Away at a show years ago. I almost forgot their name, and luckily my brain kicked back in and I did it, but I almost forgot their name. Knowing who these guys were, my brain just had a brain fart.
So this happened just recently, beginning of the year. So I did a show in South Jersey. It was the main event. It was a triple threat, and I was told that one person was coming out first, and then the other, and then and obviously I'm not paying. Obviously, I'm not paying attention. They flipped it last second. I'm like, wait, now you tell me. So I actually said the wrong person's. I said one of the three competitors' name twice.
Oh wow!
But it worked out well. It worked out well in my favor because, first of all, he only had about 4 people in the crowd, so they really weren't paying attention. And the other guy was a bad guy, so he pretty much grabbed the microphone and did his normal heel persona, say, "Let me properly introduce myself to this guy. This guy can't get his stuff together." This. But when I first started, yeah, I've had a few moments.
How long did it and I'm sure what it take like a couple of weeks to kind of just get that.
Oh, what? When I first started, or that recent?
Yeah, I mean, to get all the bumps and all the whoops and all the mishaps out of the way.
I think a little almost a year, because at that time I was only working at one place, out in Shirley at the bingo hall out there.
And did you get started? Did Dan get you? Did Dan Acosta help you get in there, or were you in the business first? I mean, how?
So I'll quickly say this and then we'll wrap it up. I'm sorry, guys.
You good?
No. Anyway. So 11 years ago, I went to Manhattanville College in upstate New York because obviously, as you guys know, I'm a musician as well, and I wanted to learn music business and marketing and managing.
I don't think I knew that actually.
Yeah, I'm a musician, man.
I didn't know that.
Earlier I said Dan and I played Order of the Black Steam.
Yeah, but I guess I didn't put the two and two together.
Connect the wires, yeah. He was a guitar. I was the drummer.
Connecting the wires, because I didn't connect them before when you told me that I met him, and then I acknowledged him, and then I realized
exactly.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, you had him on this show.
So anyway, up there they had an internet radio station, and I'm like, let me try something new. Never did this before. Hated public speaking, so I'm like, let me give it a shot. I love doing it, and also around that time I started going to NYWC in Deer Park. As a fan, and then as time progressed, I started getting to know the wrestlers and hanging out with them and whatnot. And then I worked at charity. I met someone at another charity show a year later, and then started going out to the Shirley Bingo Hall out east in Shirley, New York, for another company. And then about a year after that, and it was June 2012. At one of the wrestlers training school, the same school that our friend Dan trained at, with one of the guys of the Iraqi Butchers, they were hosting a seminar with Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. So I went over to Jimmy and I said, "Hey Jimmy, I'd like to participate in the seminar, but I don't, I'm not a wrestler. What can I do? Let's try reffing a match." Okay, I tried reffing. I sucked. So the building had a PA system. He said, "Try this." I did what I normally see, through announcing as well. And he actually took his glasses off and shock and awe and pulled me aside afterwards and said, "Son, that's the first time in a long time that someone's pulled my glasses off in shock and awe. That is your calling. Stick with it." And then 2 months later, I did my first show in front of 300 plus people. And the main event was a steel cage match. And like I said, I hated public speaking right up until
that point.
Boom, the show started. Because I was literally, as I'm explaining to people, have you guys ever seen the movie Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah.
You know how he walks back and forth saying, "Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go?" Yeah. That was me in the locker room for an hour before the show, running back and forth, not running back and forth, just walking back and forth, pacing, trying to make sure I get everything
in that you need to.
Have you ever seen me at a show? That's what I would do too.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
I was trying to introduce bands, exactly like that.
But once they said, "Okay, we're going up. Okay, we're starting the show," boom, music hits, and it snap of a finger, everything just went away. And 9 years later, I'm still doing it.
That's
good.
Awesome.
Yeah, good for you, man.
That's awesome, dude. Keep at it, homie.
Ryan
I'm
Peterson.
watching wrestling and hoping that I hear more and more of your voice and see it more on TV and be like, "I know that guy. That's a homie."
If you put this up to, man, I'll be like, I knew that dude. I was in a video with that guy.
Yeah, if you got any links, let us know. We'll share them. We'll share them for you.
Absolutely, my man. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for having me on this. This was such a
blast. It was a pleasure having you, man.
Right?
Let me, before you don't touch anything, I have to say something quick. If this show airs tonight, goes on tonight,
it'll be here tonight.
All right. Tonight, at 10 o'clock, I'm going. If for all you who are in Florida watching this, go to the Poorhouse in Fort Lauderdale. Obsidian's going to be there. I'll be there. You can come hang out with me, RJ Show, and hang out with Obsidian. This, how do I explain it? Like this kind of gothic industrial-ish new wave band.
Nice.
From Florida. I don't know how you explain it, but they're pretty damn awesome.
I'm with it.
Talented musicians at that too. I can't really explain the genre, but it's gotten that kind of synth pop. That's the word I was looking for. Synth poppy type thing going on. Yes. So, but it's dark. It's good. It's you can definitely put the word gothic in there.
Would you say it's like darker than Poppy?
It's not. Poppy's heavy. It's not like Poppy at all. It's kind of like the singer. I mean, the way he dresses, he kind of looks like Robert Smith, but he's not. But not really.
Okay.
From The Cure, but I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of Curie, but it's not really Curie because he has a different type of his voice is very like, it's kind of like the very 80s style, maybe Bauhaus-ish.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It reminds me of like very old school, the gothic scene from the 80s. That's what their whole sound reminds me of with a newer twist.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, that's happening tonight. Just figured I want to give Obsidian a plug. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm done. Ryan, thank you. Chuck, any last words?
Nope. But thank you for being on, Ryan. We'll have these up tonight.
If you're watching Hell in a Cell tomorrow, enjoy.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you guys for having us. And again, even though we're not on the woodwork, but stay safe because you never know.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Stay safe. Later. Boom, and all that jazz and stuff.
Yep.
To sweet.
Bye.